the live stream, we're going to be watching Friday the 13th, Part 2, and here we go. So I'm going to sit back here, once again, and we are rolling. We are definitely rolling here. So this is definitely going to be a real treat. Double feature tonight. And this weekend, to me it's Friday the 13th weekend, I'm celebrating all the way until Sunday. So I'm thinking, guys, maybe tomorrow doing a live stream commentary of Friday the 13th, part 3. So we'll see. The opening scene here at the house where Alice is at, that is no longer standing. They tore that down about 2-3 years ago. So they didn't do any interior shots in there. That was at another location. But the first time you see Jason here, you're only going to be seeing the feet and leg part. It is costume designer Laura Moeller, I think it's her name. First time Jason's ever been portrayed by a female. She's actually doing a convention. It'd be really cool to actually have her on my Friday the 13th Part 2 poster. That'd be really, really awesome. I don't know whose idea it was to have her stand in for the scene walking to where Alice is staying. Thought it was really cool, really interesting. Like I said, she's a costume designer, so she's in, I think, quite a few other films. So here's Alice on the bed here. She's having nightmares of the events of the first film, where the events happened 5 years ago at Camp Crystal Lake, with Mrs. Voorhees murdering all of her friends and trying to kill her in the process. I thought this was a really solid sequel. I like the third and fourth one as well. Of course, 5 doesn't have. Well, of course, 5 does have flashbacks of Jason in it. It's like hallucination scenes of Jason in it, with Tommy being, so affected from the events of the final chapter. But yeah, like I said, this is a great, solid sequel. Of course, Warrington Gillette does get the credit as Jason, not Steve Dash, even though Steve Dash did play Jason 90% of the film. Warrington Gillette was originally signed on to play him throughout the entire film, but I guess he couldn't do his own stunts. Warrington is only in one scene in this, and that's when he comes through the window after Jitty. So that's it. And I'm lucky enough I got to meet him, so I actually got to meet both Jasons from this film. I actually met half of the cast from this film. So I'm just looking at the 22 by 28 poster, the 22 by 28 inch poster that I have of Part 2. I'm going to tell you right now who I met. I met Amy Steele, of course, John Fury, Amy Steele, John Fury, Russell Todd, Marty Kober, Bill Randolph, Steve Dash, Harry Manfredini, Laura Murray Taylor, Kristen Baker, and Warrington Gillette. So the only ones I missed on there are Steve Miner, which I got Steve Miner in Part 3. I'm missing Steve Miner, Adrian King on there, Stu Charno, if he ever does conventions. He might have done a couple of them, but other than that, the stand-in for Jason walking, the costume designer would be really cool to have her on the poster as well. I mean, these conventions are very, very fun to do, but you just got to really watch your money, and it can be very, very costly. Get to see these two again wrestle on the sand on the beach. Yeah, I really like Mrs. Voorhees. I really like the character a lot. I like how with the first four films they recap everything. When we get to seven, they recap, you know, pretty much everything again. Of course, it's Walt Gorney, Crazy Ralph, narrating it. It's a shame that oh gosh, you gotta play Mark. What's his name? In this film again, Wheelchair Mark, the actor that plays him, Tom McBride. That's the actor. Passed away in '95. I believe was to complications of AIDS. I believe. So just a little bit here. So at this point, when you get to part two, it's 5 years later, 5 years after the events of the killings from Camp Crystal Lake. And from here, from 2, 3, and 4, they all happened in the same week. So I'm guessing right now this is going to be happening on Friday the 13th. So this is technically, is it Wednesday? For her, I'm not really sure. This was, because when they have the campfire thing, Paul does say something about, she gets killed a couple months later or something, referring to Alice. So technically, I think when everybody arrives at the Council Training Center here, I believe it's Thursday. And then the next day, because when Jenny sleeps, and then she sees Beware Bears from Paul on the mirror, and they go out running. That's Friday morning. And then part 3 is Saturday. And then part 4, the final chapter, would be basically Sunday/Monday. So the events of 2 through 4 happen within the time span of 3 to 4 days. Which makes it very, very interesting. Because Jason's on the run. I don't know about you guys, but living alone like that, I think it'd be kind of really, really scary because you live alone in a house, and then you get a call that's coming up, and I think it's an incoming call. I don't think Jason is actually trying to call her. I think somebody tried to call and he cut the line, the phone line out. Now the question is, how in the hell did Jason know where Alice is living? Did he follow her? Did he? What did he do? How did he know? And is this in the same area as the first film? Is this like maybe in the next town or something from Crystal Lake? Who knows? That's always been a mystery to me. I mean, this one has the biggest mystery of all, is near the end with whatever the hell happened to Paul. I still think he's alive, so near the end of the film, speculation saying that, oh yeah, he's dead. No, I don't think he's dead. I think he survived it. But that's a fun thing about these films. You can always speculate different things about it. Just like I really love the Rennie character from Part 8. A lot of people don't even give that Final Girl a chance. Yeah, it is kind of wacky and stuff with some of the things that go on in that film, but still, it's a fun film to me. It is. Yeah, now it's getting creepy, man. She's walking slowly through, her. I think she's in an apartment or a home. It's not an apartment. I don't think. I'm not really sure, unless somebody lives at the bottom part of it, but I don't think in that case. If you think if somebody was living at the bottom part of it, they would know if there's somebody out there creeping around the house. Yeah, the whole her death is brutal because when they show it, so they finally get the camera negatives for the Scream or Shout Factory Scream Factory box set. That whole ice pick going through her. Yes, I heard that somebody threw this cat through the window, and it definitely doesn't look like it was thrown through the window for sure. That'd be enough to give me a jump scare right there. Oh, well, he had to have been inside her. He had to have been inside there already. He was already inside. It's obvious he was already inside there. But how did he get in there without her even knowing? Unless he got in. He came in while she was in the shower. I love this. Here comes Friday the 13th logo. And here's the big explosion, part 2. I've always loved that. Amy Steele. Jennifer, Adrian King. Kristen Baker, Stu Charno. Definitely, I would love to get on this poster. Will Gorney, Marty Kober, Tom McBride. I mean, Marty Kober's has had a rough life, man. Alcohol, I think. Peter Stein, director of photography. Virginia Field, production designer. She's still on it. Wow. Simon and Kuhlman, casting. Carl Fullerton is special effect and makeup artist. He did approach Tom Savini about doing it, but he didn't want to do it. I think something about it was impossible Jason to be alive or something. But he came back for part 4. Frank Mancuso Jr. Associate producer. I believe this Susan E. Cunningham. I believe that's Sean Cunningham's wife, maybe. Ron Kurtz, written by Ron Kurtz, Victor Miller, Steve Miner. He produced it too, man, wow. And directed it. Here comes this big thing of a monster truck, I call it. Jeff and Sandra are in town. Look out, everybody. They're coming to town. Oh, a lot of stuff has changed over the years, man. The one area that they do pull up, I think it was right in front of the truck. That metal bar, that's still there. Or the metal hand railing, still there. what a huge prank this is. Tow truck coming to tow their truck away. And it's actually Cliff Cundy, I think he was the stunt coordinator on this film. He's the one that suggested Steve Dash to be to play this part because Warrington Gillette couldn't do his own stunts or whatnot. I always thought that was funny. Crazy Ralph popping in like that. I warned all the others. They didn't believe me. How the heck does he know where Jeff and Sandra are going? Probably got to figure out, hey, they're young. Hey, they're probably in here for one thing. Yeah, man. I mean, growing up, like I said, when I did the first stream for the first live commentary for the first film here, I grew up watching these films. Been a big fan since I was a kid. Like how this is pieced together right here. He's yelling, and there's Cliff Cundy trying to keep a straight face. Oh, not Cliff Cundy. Or is it Cliff Cundy? I keep thinking Dean Cundy, the cinematographer. Could be Cliff Cundy. I know his first name's Cliff. I've seen the filming locations of this. It's sad what they did with the Pat Lodge. They sold the land. The original owners of the property sold the land to a new owner, and the new owner wiped out all the cabins pretty much, and flattened the land and built a house on top of it. So you really can't get in there now. But this is a beautiful shot. This is one of like going off of 102 where I live at, and going out to the Sportsman's Club. But yeah, I mean they basically wiped out the whole entire filming locations where everything takes place. The council training center is all gone, all that, which is sad. I like how you have the subtitles on here because you actually hear the joke or see the joke or basically see it what he's talking about. Because actually, when they drive off, you barely can hear any of it. I believe that's a warning not to move that tree. It can be. Definitely, she is right. She is right. Sandra is right. It is spooky out there. Can you imagine being out there at night, though? In the woods? I mean, that would be definitely scary. I think even the background back there, it looks scary, too, because look how dark it is back there. Yeah, for years, guys, this was my favorite one. And it still is. I really like 3. I said before, I like the first 4 films. I mean, throwing part 5 in there, which is the imposter, Jason, spoiler, if nobody's ever seen any of these, I don't know who wouldn't, who hasn't seen any of these, but, despite 5 not having, it be Jason as the killer, but it's still a damn good movie. I love Reggie. Reggie the Reckless. Still waiting to meet him at a convention. I mean, for the most part, everybody that I met from Friday the 13th had been really, really nice. I know a lot of fans have when they met them, they said they're all real nice, and it's very, very true. Everybody here that I met, I met in this film, half of them, because I haven't met everybody yet, but for the most part, everybody was really, really nice. Never had a bad thing to say about any of these guys. Definitely made a good experience. Yeah, Russell Tide, look at that. Right before Shopping Mall, right before where the boys are, 84. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, man, I do love the casting in this film. And here comes Jenny riding her buggy. Crazy Rob is on his way again to warn them all. Man, I tell you, Counselor Training Center. I'm amazed at how well the game has gotten some of the areas for the part 2 location looking really the way it's supposed to, because man, it looks just like it does in the movie for the most part. The most unique thing about having Amy Steele in this film is that, like I said before, with the live commentary of part 1, is that a lot of these women, I mean, they were like the girl next door type. I mean, it was nothing super modelish about any of them, which was really, really good, because these days, you know, they're all, you know, supermodel type. You see these horror films, it's like, this one's got the biggest, you know, big boobs and all dolled up in, you know, makeup. This one looks like she's rich and stuff like that. But for the most part, with these, I mean, you do get a couple of the rich ones back in, like, in the later films, like with Part 7, like with Melissa and the Heidi Kozak character in that film. But I mean, it's something compared to what we got, you know, today. But I mean, Amy Steele's a natural beauty anyway. You just, like I said, you just don't see women like this, I mean, like that anymore. That's, you know, the good thing. You know, the '80s are gone, but we can relive them through music and movies. And if you can on YouTube, old shows. And Bear Country. Bear, I mean, this is Bear Country, man. It's amazing how Jason was even able to survive with bears. Well, I mean, you really get to see his weaponry skills put to good use in part 3. I'll tell you that. But with or in 3 and 4, basically, you know, throwing. I mean, that whole thing when he took down Sarah with that double-headed axe, right through the door. Man, that was epic. Oh, best scene in the film right here, man. Campfire scene. That's what I got posted for this live stream. My cover for it. They recreated that because I got the vinyl for part 4 as well, and they recreated the scene. They have some of the they have some of the extra counselors here that you see that are in there, but it's for the most part where you see Paul and Ginny and Vicky and them. It's all the part 4 cast. So I thought that was kind of interesting how they did that. And this one has the largest survivor group. All the extra counselors survive, and plus Ted, and then of course you got Ginny, and then you can go ahead and say Paul died. You can say he lived. I still think he survives this film. Now I don't know about Muffin. I mean that's kind of a tricky thing to say because you do see the dog dead in the woods later on. Matches Muffin's description, but I just love this good storytelling that Paul Holt is really telling the counselors. It's really getting them really believing it. As you can see, Scott's looking right behind him. Scott, that's Russell Todd's character in the film. 5 years, 5 long years he's been tormented, and he's hungry. Jason's out there watching and always on prowl for intruders, waiting to kill, waiting to devour, thirsty for young blood. That's how much. I mean, I've seen this over 100 times, man. I pretty much know word for word. That was a pretty good jump scare, though. Ted has like the caveman character. That would have been iconic if Jason chose that mask instead of the hockey mask in the third one to wear that. Oh, that would be really weird. I have to agree with a lot of people. I think the sackhead Jason is more scarier than the one with the hockey mask, because the reasoning for that is okay. You look at the hockey mask; it only covers his face. It doesn't cover his whole head. The sack does. It covers his entire head, so you don't even know what is underneath there, which makes it more scarier. Because right when we you wonder why he ended up not having 2 eye holes cut out, but only had 1 eye hole cut out, because his one eye is lower than the other or so in this, and it would have to be hard. And I think I remember Steve Dash saying it was so hard to run like that with only 1 eye hole to look out of. I know Kristen Baker was in that movie of Gas Pump Girls. That was back in the 70s. That was actually a free movie to watch on Amazon Prime when I had Amazon Prime. So these two here, Jeff and Sanders. It's all Sanders' idea. I want to go to that Camp Blood. There's something to that legend. I want to go there and see it. She wants to investigate. It would have been really interesting, to see what would have happened if they actually they got all the way there. go. I would have to go back and do some research just to see how old she was in this film. Amy Steele here. I want to say she was in her. I want to say she might have been in her mid-20s, mid to early 20s maybe. Knock on the door. Crazy Ralph's silhouette. This dude, you thought he was something in the first one. I mean, this guy is something else in this one. It's freaking Peeping Tom. I mean, we already know he was established. He already had he was married. He's got a wife. Because Tierney mentions it in the first film. You know, it would have been really interesting if Ralph would have survived this. I'm wondering if he would have been in part 3. Yeah, so I'm saying it right now. I'm gonna call it right now. This is Thursday night right here. It's in the summertime. It's Thursday night. And when they wake up, it's Friday. Big his eyes go, oh man, don't you remember Rob when you and your wife did something like that? Oh man. Oh, he's a goner, he's out of there. Kill number 2 for Jason. There are no survivors of the first film now. They're all gone. I love the run, so this is right up my alley. Love that poison ivy right there. And he's out there watching and waiting. He's particularly watching Jenny here. I think she's got a sense of somebody watching her too. You know, it's weird. You get that feeling because I remember me and my mom were out at a local state park here, and I went down a path. Well, we got to a gazebo area where there was like a bench, picnic bench and stuff right there. You can sit down. Well, she sat down there, and there was like a dirt trail I went on. I went on it before her, and I was just doing some exploring, and she told me when I got back that she felt like that somebody was watching her. I mean, you get that kind of a feeling, especially like when you're on a biking or walking or running trail, and there's wooded areas on both sides of the trail. You often wondered. I haven't ran out there in almost 2 years. I do all my stuff at a Sands Preserve where it's a local I'm trying to think what they would call it, like a nature hiking trail. It's 90% open, so it's not all wooded. It's 90% open fields that are surrounded by the trail. Yeah, here we go again. I just love this shot right here coming out because the music, He's looking at her, and she has that sense that somebody's out there watching her. That's a beautiful shot. You guys can't see it, but in the far distance, right where the raft's at, it looks like there's like a building or something over there, or a cabin out there. I think that's Crystal Lake over there, maybe. It's supposed to be. But it doesn't really, I don't think it really makes any sense because you look at the lake in the first film, it doesn't connect with any other lake. Well, at least that's how they shot it. And these two, Jeff and Sandra, on that hunt. It's mainly Sandra's idea. Jeff is just tagging along. Definitely, it's good to explore stuff like that. I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing stuff like that alone. I mean, I've done it. It's kind of creepy because you don't know what you're gonna come across. Rafts out there. So, wonder what they did with that raft. Or jumping off. That's funny. Here we go. Like I said, these shots in these first two films are just awesome. I just loved it. Just the way he stood there. Baggy overalls that he's wearing. As baggy as you can get them. Yeah, that looks like Muffin. To me, that looks like Muffin. There's no doubt. Because who else? Who else? Whose dogs? Whose dog would that would have been then? I mean, it's obvious. It had to be. It has to be Muffin. Yeah, gosh, yeah, Jack Marks. I believe that's the guy that plays the deputy here, or a sheriff. He just passed away a couple years ago as well. No punishment. How come? No seconds on dessert. He looking at him like, what the hell? What type of punishment is that? Yeah, that's a nice shot. Jeff and Tanner walking down to the beach. You can see that there's a tractor tire full of like flowers, life preserver, life vest, all that stuff right there. And this is pretty. I'm going to talk about this scene here, man. This is really funny. The cop going, there's Jason right there. We got a full glimpse of him from a distance, so, but you would almost think that he would call for backup in this instance. I would. Hey, we got somebody running around out there about a second ahead, going heading towards Camp Crystal Lake, and so on, and and that's the thing with this. I mean, he can't even keep up with him. He loses him pretty much. Yeah, if that was me, I'd probably be up there by him right now. But of course, Jason's been out in the woods for so long; he knows his way around everything out there. Look at the way the way the cops running, trying so hard to catch up to him, and the way Jason's running, it's like a breeze to him. I mean, it's some beautiful shots, man, especially when they're showing him running. Now this shack here, I thought it was a natural cabin. It could have been. I have to wonder too if Jason might have built it. It's run down, yeah. I mean, it's obviously been pieced together by piece. So, I mean, look at that. It's like a bike rim on the top. Like some hoses or something on the top, right above the door on the tarp. I do not want to say what's inside that toilet. It's disgusting though. Yeah, he had some stuff in there. I mean, he's got like a pan, a lantern, all that stuff. He was prepared for whatever he had to do out there, living out there like that. Here we go. I would love to know how they filmed this scene here. I mean, what it took to film it, with all of them there, and I think she might have been sitting by herself, the one that was behind Vicky and Mark. Those were the good old days when you were able to ride right in the back of a pickup truck like that. I think Bill Randall said, but yeah, later, Scooter. Yeah, right there on the poster, later, Scooter, that's what he wrote. That's what he just said to Mark here. Oh, yeah, I'm telling you. I'm really glad that Steve Miner did this one and the third one, because the way to tone that Sean Cunningham had set with the first film. That was awesome because when you get the final chapter, you know it's a different film. It's done by a different director. Still to this day in Friday the 13th history, Steve Miner is the only one to direct two Friday the 13th films. No other director has ever directed more than one. Steve Miner was the only one to have done that, and still to this day we're in 2024, and he's still the only one that has ever directed more than one Friday the 13th film. I think Maggie, when Paul mentioned to Ted, let Maggie drive the pickup. I think Maggie was the Asian girl. A lot of POV views of Jason just watching. Now he's watching. It looks like he's watching. It's either him or Scott watching Terry here. I think it's mostly Scott. It's got to be Scott out there. Yeah, fun fact of Marta Kober, the whole sex thing that was supposed to be between her and Jeff, they couldn't do it, the full scene, because I think she was underage. At the time. Yeah, Laura Marie Taylor, man, I mean, meeting her in person years ago. I actually am following her on Instagram. You know, I made a couple posts. Like I made a post, a comment on her post with her. I think it was her and Adrian, or her, Adrian, and Amy Steele. They were saying Happy Friday the 13th underneath one of their photos, and you know, of course, Laura Marie Taylor does respond back at times with my comments and stuff, which I thought was really nice, you know, really, you know, respectful and stuff. You don't get that too often when you have actual celebrities, you know, that you're following like on Instagram or social media, and they actually respond to you when you make a comment on their like their photo or their video. I've not seen In a Violent Nature though, but I know it's very, very gory. I do know Laura Marie Taylor is in that. The way he laughs. This part coming up with Terry chasing Scott, there's a scene that I can't quite get. It's the point after she runs and goes to get a knife to cut him down. She throws her towel in the trees. I can't quite figure out why she would do that. Or what was the point of that. Yeah, like right here coming up. the method that Jason does, and I think every time I see that when she's looking in that dressing drawer where the mirror's at, that Jason's gonna pop walking right through past the entryway of the doorway, but that doesn't happen. But the thing I thought was really interesting, how Jason does kill, he'll dispatch or kill off the ones that are outside, and then he'll work his way inside wherever they're at, if they're in a cabin or a building, to get to them. I thought it was really interesting that he does that type of style, because it makes more sense. You want to get rid of the ones that are outside, and then the ones that are like inside a cabin or so, go after them next. I believe Russell Todd is our third kill, and Terry is going to be the fourth. He's already gone. Killed by the machete, hanging upside down, but the machete was used in the wrong way. It wasn't on the sharp end. She gets killed off screen. I don't know how she got killed. It's a mystery. All you do is you see her body in the altar later. Smoky Boys, man. You do get to see some of the extra counselors in the background, them dancing, and the other two that are playing the pinball stuff. Kiss pinball machine back there. Kiss, man, I mean, it's a pretty good band, I'll tell you that. I mean, definitely before my time, but just some good songs they have. When I met Amy Steele that year, and I met her, I actually asked her if she does quotes, and they were free. John Ferry was right next door to her, his table was, and he says, she charges per word. And I kind of was like, I almost thought I was going to try my mouth open. She looks at me, and she smiles up, and they were just messing with me, which was really, really funny. He must have been, and all because she loved it. And this quote is I put right here. Coming up, the quote that she put on the poster I had written out. So right now, prime for return. I had the subtitles on, because it's for her resurrection. I thought it was for resurrection, because that's what it sounds like. So yeah, there was no her in that, but yeah, it's everybody has written like quotes from the film. Marty Cobra wrote, "Want to wrestle." Russell Todd wrote, "Looking for something." I think the greatest message of all on that poster was Kristen Baker's. To Michael, stay away from dark places. I like the positivity of what Mark's character is. He was in a motorcycle accident, and he's staying positive about it. You look at his shirt; it says 81 on there. It says 1980. It says 81 on there, not 1981, but 81. And 81 is the year that this movie came out in theater. It's giving me an idea for a video. I'm thinking, who was the best looking final girl in all of the Friday the 13th films? And I thought about another video. I think I might have done this a while back. Best kill in each film that I think. Um, I For this one here, I know my favorite kill in part one was Marzy's. For killing this film, I would probably have to say Mark's because he didn't see it coming. But I do like Laura Marie Taylor's thing too. The whole thing where you get to see her face gets like kind of like blurred out when Jason's coming with a knife. You see his hand, and then it pans right. It focuses right in on her face. Just the fear that the good acting that Laura Marie Taylor did in that scene there was really good. I mean, it was believable. I remember saying it to Mary McDonald, who was in Scream 4, who played Jill's mom in Scream 4. Real nice lady and everything. And she talked about, her her death scene and stuff like that. And I told her, she really sold, like when she gets stabbed through the, and the look on her face just says it all. Now here she's stripping down from Mark, getting ready. We're gonna put these brown panties on. I always get the biggest kick out of this because I love it because he's watching her. We're referring to Jason watching Vicky here. Now she's putting perfume and stuff on. Goes on her neck. She puts it on her wrist. She shoots it right inside the V-neck area on the sweater. And then down there in the underwear. She does a photo op with that type of sweater. Of course, it's very, very different. But she has the brown panties on, and I'm thinking, I don't know about that. I've never done a photo op at a convention before, but I mean, to have her, wear that plus the brown panties and stuff like that for a photo op, you get them one or two, especially when you get guys there and they have, wives or girlfriends, if they get, jealous. I mean, I don't know, but like I said, it's so easy to blow a lot of money on these conventions, and that's why I never do photo ops because right now, I mean, they're charging now for selfies at their tables. Years ago, when I first started going, they never did that. I mean, you get the autograph and then the selfie at the table was free. Here we go. And I cannot tell you, and I've been trying to figure this out with Mark's death coming up here. Where was Jason standing at? Because it had to have been behind him. He couldn't have been in front of him because Mark would have seen him. Was he either on the side of him or was he behind him? And that machete goes whack right into the face. I think he's behind him. But then again, there you go, you can't see him. Yeah, I think he was on the side of him. Here he goes, kills the ones on the outside. Now he's working his way in. The silhouette, when you see his head here, it looks like he's got like a box on his head. How the hell does he know that they're upstairs? It's good. There's a lot of good questioning about this film here. How does he know that they're upstairs? I think there was a window in that room. If there was, he probably saw a light on. Well, he probably knew they were already in there, but they had to be somewhere else. But they could have been down there in the first floor somewhere. She sees him coming, but he doesn't. And this is one of the kills where they had edited out through the MPPA or MPA or whatever. But they do bring it back in with the Scream Factory box set. Look at all those bottles. Here's a real neat trivia thing right here. The guy running right there, that's actually Bill Randolph, who played Jeff. She's the only one left alive right now. That's still there. She doesn't know what's going on, but like I said, if that was me, I would have gotten the hell out of there, or I would have waited. Till Paul and Jimmy got back. I'm wondering if these are rain machines or if this is actual rain right here. Oh, this is gonna be good. Jason versus Paul, the first round. You can't really say there's been many people that have went hand to hand and fought Jason the way he did. Of course, this isn't zombie Jason either, so you know. But could you imagine if they did this, where they were able to go back in the time and put zombie Jason in this film and then take the human Jason away? Oh, that'd be scary. Lights are going out. Classic Jason, man. He would have been a goner if she didn't say anything, or if he was by himself. He would have been a goner, I'm sure. Just look at that. One part of the room is lit up, the other half is dark. Oh! I would say Jason won this round. Alright. Now, the thing is, with her going and running in the bathroom, holding onto the door knob, and was going to try to reach for the window. Now, Jason's smart, guys. I don't even care what anybody says. He had scoped out this whole place during the daytime or nighttime, the night before or whatnot. Because how would he know what area of the bathroom or what area the window's at from the outside to where she's at? Look at that. I mean, it's amazing. I know you guys can't see anything, but I mean, how would he have known? He had to have scoped out every inch of Packneck Lodge. He had to have scoped out everything to know where everything was at. Or unless he was at that place when he was a kid or something. I mean, who really knows? I mean, there's so much mystery. I mean, this has been, I've been fascinated with this character for years. This is the reason why I love horror films in general. Okay, so he didn't drown. So what really happened? I mean, how did he survive? Why didn't he go to his mom? Alright, there's me a glitch here. There's like a blooper coming up here. It's right when Jenny gets inside her buggy. If you look closely at the windshield right near the steering wheel, you can see the sack head of Jason right there, waiting for the cue to pop up. It's really neat too because they used this scene years ago for like a TV commercial for cars. There's a blooper in Friday the 13th Part 3 in the reflection of the yellow buggy. You can see Steve Miner and crew in the reflection of the driver's side or passenger side back window. I mean, which I thought was really, really impressive because, hey, you're seeing a little bit of a couple of bloopers, shots that weren't supposed to be in the film, you know. Kicks him right in the nuts. Oh, he goes down. He felt that one, man. He felt that one. Wouldn't be something giving Jason a stone cold stunner. Imagine Jenny doing that to him. Oh man, that'd be epic. It's Vicky's scar. Now, if he would have had another eye hole cut out of that sack, I am very certain, guys, that he would have seen the top of her head right there. And this was a great chase scene. Oh, he almost got her. Between this and between this 3 and 1, which had the, well, you can count 4 too having a good chase scene too, but which one do I like the most? The chase scene. I honestly think that this would be a great YouTube video to do too. I'm not going to say anything. I think that's a video I'm going to do. I would have to look back at all of them. Particularly, I think I might do this in sections. I might do the first 4, which had the best chasing in the first 4 movies. Oh man, so close, so close. He opens that door, pretends that he's leaving, and he's not. He had the right idea, man, but the chair collapsed from underneath him, the legs. Oh, look how scared he is right there, man. That chainsaw actually got him on the arm. almost shot him running right through the woods like that. It's amazing how they can set up all the dolly tracks, all that out there. Hear those birds, man, those birds were awesome. I love that sound. It really sells it with Manfredini's music. It's creepy. There he is running in the background. Brought some of the bodies. There's Alice. There's the cop. There's Terry's body. I'm just kind of wondering who moved the cop's car. Who moved that? You know, if they had other cops coming down there, you would actually think that the cops would come to the training center to find out what happened. If these guys like Ginny and them would know what happened to the cop, because you think that they wouldn't leave that area until they found them. My question is why did he drag Terry's body all the way out there to his shack? I mean, it's interesting stuff, man. I mean, it's some of these things. Great flashback scene with Betsy Palmer. He thinks that Ginny is his mom. What a great block. Ooh. That was some good special makeup effects right there when he hit her leg with that pickaxe. Like cut it open. It looked real. I mean, this was in 1981, man, but man, the prosthetics was awesome. It was a real funny thing. My buddy talked to me years ago. He says, "What, did Jason know how to wrestle or something?" And I said, well, "I don't know. I don't know how he knew how to do any of this stuff. Nobody really knows." We don't know anything about Eliza Voorhees either, his father. Other than, I think it's in the novelizations. He's in the novelizations. And there was a fan film that C.J. Graham does play Elias in a fan film. Would have been really interesting to know what Jason's life was like. I've said it once, and I've said it before. Now, they get to see what he really looks like under that sack. we get to see him coming through the window of the hair, so we don't know really what he actually looks like, because when you get to 3, he's bald. And this one, he has a full head of hair. Now, I don't know if this is a whole dream sequence or what. I don't know really what's going on here. I would presume that this is actually happening right now. And what's a dream or hallucination, it still remains a mystery. And I'm still in doubt whether that was. I'm still in doubt that this is actually Muffin. I mean, this is where I think the dream starts, or the hallucination starts right here, because that dog that was found dead in the woods, that had to have been Muffin. I mean, there's no question about it, because it was a Shih Tzu. That's what Muffin is. Looking at her, like, what do I have to do to put this guy down? Yeah, that's the hallucination scene right here. This has got to be it. Yeah, I mean, look at that. He looks human though, except for that one side of his face. No ear on the one side. Carl Fulton did a good job. His makeup and stuff, his effects were really cool. Not to mention they did hire an actress to play the head of Mrs. Voorhees at the altar. They never used her, but I heard that in rumors online that if you look closely, you can see her eyes move. You can see a little bit. They look like real eyelids. Well, guys, that is it for live stream commentary. I definitely hope you guys really enjoyed it. It's been a blast knocking these two films out. And I was right, Max was Cliff Cundy. I'm wondering if he's related to Dean Cundy. But, yeah, other than that, we'll see about doing a live stream commentary for Friday the 13th, Part 3 tomorrow, depending on what I got going on. I wanted to get these knocked out of the way because, hey, it's Part 1, Part 2. I watched Part 3 for Part 8 and Jason X this past week, and they're a blast to watch. And I just want to thank everybody who's going to be watching this once this is uploaded in replay. Definitely some fun stuff doing. Never thought I'd be able to do like live stream commentaries, but here we go. Further ado, this is Oracle signing out for tonight. Take care, and you guys have a good one.